My friends, gather round. Tonight, I'm going to share a story with you. A story about life, about the heart. A story the elders call The Three Travelers and the Secret of Humility. Once upon a time, in a land of white savannas and golden dust, there lived three men from three very different worlds. The first was named Laymin. He was poor, hard-working, and filled with a quiet hope. Every morning, he woke with a heavy heart, searching for a way to lift his family out of their hardship. The second, Canis, was the son of a great merchant who had passed away. His one desire was to see the fortune his father left him grow even larger, to bless it and make it multiply. And the third, Jack, was the son of a sick king. On the surface, he prayed for his father's recovery. But deep down, a secret ambition was stirring. He hoped to inherit the throne. One day, word reached all three men about a great benefactor, a wise man named Pander. It was said he had the power to change the destiny of anyone who came to him with a pure heart. And so, each of them set out on a journey, one guided by hope, another by ambition, and the last by pride. Along the road, fate brought them together. Laymin, Canis, and Jack found themselves traveling side by side, all heading toward the home of the great Pander. After several long days of walking, they finally reached a small, dusty village. But Pander wasn't there. Instead, an old man sat peacefully beneath a huge, ancient baobab tree. He beckoned them closer, a gentle smile on his face. "Come closer, my sons," he said warmly. "Look behind you. Do you see those three birds flying together in the sky?" The three travelers turned around. There, gliding in the golden sunlight, were three beautiful birds. But as they watched, two of the birds suddenly faltered and fell to the ground, while the third continued to soar, climbing higher and higher into the heavens. The old man spoke again, his voice calm and steady. "These birds are like men. Pride makes them fall, but humility lifts them up." He turned his gaze first to Laymin. "You wish to free your family from misery? You will struggle for 10 more years, but if you remain humble through it all, you will find both wealth and peace." Then he looked at Canis. "If you stay humble, your father's fortune will continue to grow. But if pride is allowed to fill your heart, that fortune will vanish like morning mist." Finally, his eyes settled on Jack. "You will become a king, but you must keep your heart pure. Know this, I will visit you one day, and when I do, you will not recognize me." And with that, the old man fell silent. The three men, their minds buzzing with his words, continued on their separate paths. Years passed. Just as the old man predicted, Jack became king after his father's death. His palace was immense, his robes were dazzling, but his heart had grown cold and hard. He divided his palace into two distinct sections, one side for the poor bear, cold and simple, and one for the rich, filled with plush carpets, fragrant perfumes, and endless feasts. One morning, Pander, now dressed in worn-out rags, arrived at the palace gate. The guards immediately stopped him. "The king does not receive beggars," they sneered. But Pander insisted on seeing him. The king eventually came out, his face twisted with anger. "You and I are not from the same world," he shouted. "Leave my sight now." Pander simply bowed his head and walked away in silence. From that very day, King Jack's glory and power began to fade. Later, Pander, still wearing his poor clothes, visited the estate of Canis. He greeted the wealthy merchant humbly, but Canis turned away in disgust. "Old man, what do you want from me? I don't have time for beggars." "Here," he said, tossing a skinny goat towards him. "Take this and get out of my sight." Pander thanked him quietly and left. Soon after, Canis's entire business empire collapsed, crumbling like a house without a foundation. Finally, Pander reached Lamien's small hut. After 10 years of struggle, Lamien was sicker and poorer than ever. He had nothing left except a single rooster and a little bit of milk in a small calabash bowl. Pander entered softly. "Brother," he said, his voice weak, "I am ill and can only drink milk. Could you spare some for me?" Without a moment of hesitation, Lamien offered him the bowl. "Take it all, my brother," he replied gently. "May God heal you." The old man drank the entire bowl, thanked him, and left. At that very instant, Lamien felt a surge of strength return to his body. He was completely healed. Sometime later, while lost in the wilderness, Lamien stumbled upon a starving dog near a watering hole. Though he was thirsty himself, he first gave the dog water from his own hands. Suddenly, the dog began to transform, and right before his eyes stood Pander, glowing with a brilliant golden light. His voice boomed with power. "Lamien, you have kept your humility through poverty and through sickness. From this day forward, wealth will flow into your home like a river of gold. As long as your heart stays humble, that river will never, ever run dry." And that is how Lamien became a man of great justice, wealth, and kindness, loved and respected by all who knew him. Meanwhile, Canis lost everything he owned. Jack, destroyed by his own arrogance, was overthrown by his people. Broken and defeated, both men came to Lamien, begging for his help. And he, still humble and generous, welcomed them, gave them work, food, and treated them as brothers once again. So my friends, remember this. Pride is like foam. The higher it rises, the faster it falls and disappears. But humility is like lion's oil calm, pure and shining. It doesn't make a lot of noise, yet it lights the path for the righteous. Humility always comes before true greatness, and greatness without humility is nothing but a fall in disguise. Thank you for listening. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales of wisdom. Until next time.